I want to talk to you also about this Ram Mandir loot. Now, all of a sudden, a mandir which was built with so much of fanfare and BJP's the core agenda of the Ram temple and the consecration ceremony, with all the fanfare and the grand function they had, and after that, it happened in 2024, and just 2 years. It has sullied the image. Look at the kind of loot and pilferage which is happening, the ornaments stolen away. What does it go to show about this Ram Temple Trust?
So again, it's something very interesting because we've got Tirupati temple in Andhra. It's almost like Vatican. The kind of pilgrimage all over the country, all over the world, people come there and they give offerings. But we don't have this kind of a scam anywhere because there is a system there and there is a certain amount of accountability. And you don't find, and even the way they manage the crowds and all that, and the way they provide facilities for the people there. Whereas, Ayodhya temple came recently and people all over the country, they started giving them offerings, gold, silver, money, everything. And at the end of it, what do we find? About 200 crores embezzled. And not only that, even the lands around Ayodhya, you find, people indulging in real estate development, buying land and speculating and all that. It's all a very sad spectacle, something which is divine. They're actually tarnishing it. And one important thing about this Ayodhya temple is a trust. It's a public trust. Now, in this trust, the chairman is actually nominated by the Prime Minister himself. It's not as though it's something independent of the government. The person who is the chairman is nominated by the Prime Minister of India. And the Home Ministry is represented through its additional secretary or joint secretary. I think Ganesh Kumar was there at one time. So in a way, this trust has got some kind of a link with the government. So when such a thing happens, I don't know, I tried to search who is the auditor for this trust money. I couldn't find it. There is no audit report openly.
No, but the very fact, Mr. Sarma, that somebody like Nripendra Mishra, who was part of the PMO, and he was made the chairman of the Temple Construction Committee, where do you think that the buck will stop? People will start raising fingers point fingers at the PMO. They will start pointing fingers at Nripendra Mishra himself. That how on earth could this kind of a loot happen when you had people like Nripendra Mishra to oversee everything?
Absolutely. When there is a trust board, every one of them is responsible for maintaining accounts and for seeing that the offerings are properly utilized and they're accounted for. And they must, in my view, the trust should have put up the audit report openly every year. After all, for people, people are contributing. I would say even RSS gets donations, they must put it up. If they're really open, transparent.
But they have a problem. RSS says we will not. Yeah.
I demand wherever any agency which handles money like this, public money, whatever you call it, Guru Dakshina, pilgrimage, pilgrims giving it, whatever it is, it has to be. So
you feel the question which is raised by Priyank Kharge, the Karnataka Home Minister, about RSS's registration, their sources of income, office bearers, that information needs to be put out in the public domain?
Absolutely, because if you see RSS website, the word political appears. And how are you sure that foreign donations are not going into RSS? After all, they, in the name of RSS, a lobbyist was appointed in the United States. And I wrote to the Union Revenue Secretary at the time. I said, look, how did they appoint a lobbyist? A Guru Dakshina cannot be used for a lobbyist. Guru Dakshina, there is a Supreme Court judgment on that is not taxable. So I quoted that Supreme Court judgment. I said, look, Guru Dakshina, if it's only Guru Dakshina, Dakshina cannot be used for appointing a foreigner as a lobbyist. And lobbyist for what? Is it for interfering in the Ministry of External Affairs bilateral relationships? Or what is the purpose? I said, please order a complete inquiry into this at that time. And what Kharge said also is correct. People, when there is a large amount of money and when there is a whole lot of political interference, see, the word political is very clear in the RSS website. So they should come out openly. I would suggest to whoever is in charge of RSS, in their own interest, they should put up all these things for public to see. And if they're not doing it, they're afraid to do so. Why are you afraid? Transparency is the best way of accountability.
No, but now when you see the way the things have happened and managed by the Ram Temple Trust, do you think that they formed such a big trust and such a big temple was formed without any system, and which is why we see this kind of a loot?
I would still feel that SIT is not enough. See, what is a SIT? They are all internal, UP government officers doing this. It's not correct. In my view, that's not enough.
So you're saying SIT is not enough for Ram Temple?
Beg your pardon?
I'm saying you are saying that SIT inquiry is not enough for Ram Temple.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
See, when the Home Ministry, when the government of India, Ministry of Home Ministry is, represented on the trust, I personally feel it's a CBI or somebody should investigate. There is nothing less than CBI investigation in this, because it has got multiple facets. Not only money, silver, gold, and land transactions with this.
No, but about the CBI also, we know the inclination towards the central government. So do you think that if the CBI takes over, there'll be an honest investigation?
No, I personally feel, you cannot avoid. In this country, CBI and DD are the two, but we can say under judicial purview, judicial oversight. No, there are many cases which are being investigated today under judicial oversight.
So you are saying that there should be a CBI inquiry into the Ram Temple loot under a judicial oversight?
Absolutely. That's what is called for.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in the end, sir, and on the Ram Temple only, because it carries the sentiments of the Ram devotees. How do you think this kind of a sentiment, and after seeing this kind of a loot and theft, how would the people, the Ram Bhakts or the Ram devotees, react politically?
I'm sure, many Ram Bhakts in Andhra, South, everywhere, there are Ram Bhakts everywhere. And incidentally, Ayodhya temple is one thing, but we have got very ancient Ram temples in South. Right in our state, we have got close to Visakhapatnam, there is one very ancient Ram temple. So what happens is people, trust the board and the trust, and then they give their offerings. So they can't openly question this, but then they must be feeling very hurt by this. What is this? The offerings given by me are misused like this for some personal gains, somebody's flat, somebody's land, somebody's family. So that type of a feeling is there, but they're unable to express it. I'm sure, people will come up. I think some PIL has already been filed against this. So I personally feel that for the sake of creating trust, public trust, the government must commission an investigation, an inquiry under judicial purview. That's very, very important. And incidentally, the amount is not much, 3,000 crores, and then 200 crores embezzled, which is a very sad thing. We have got so many temples in Andhra and Tamil Nadu and all, and they get huge donations.
After seeing this theft at Ram Temple, do you think that it's time now to question the systems, say, which involve the Kashi Vishwanath Temple, the Mathura Temple? How are the systems doing over there?
I think so. All those things, any temple where people give their offerings in whatever form it is, there must be public accountability. There must be transparency, and they should be audited by independent. In many of these things, for example, PM Cares Fund. Everybody is government in that, Prime Minister, Finance Minister, everybody. And why should it not be transparent? Why should not? And who is the auditor? Or is the auditor independent? These questions, nobody can say, look, I will not answer these questions. When RTI, this is exempted from RTI Act. This is ridiculous in my view. The very fact that you say it is exempted shows that something is wrong with PM Cares.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining on HW News.
Thank you very much.